Ukraine's peace formula on the agenda in Davos. Davos talks started. Hello, the Pioneer viewers. The war in Ukraine is approaching its second year. While the difficulties of the war continue, solutions are being sought internationally. European countries are doing their best for ongoing war in Ukraine. The solution to the war varies depending on the politics of the parties. International developments are very important in times of the war. International law cannot bind states after a certain point. For this reason, alliances become more important in their laws and agreements. We know that the international system plays an important role in the times of the war as a balancing factor. In the past, many conflicts and the wars have been resolved throughout international interventions. The situation in Ukraine is a bit different and more important. The support given to Ukraine by Europe and the United States have a significant impact on the course of the war. Russia's invasion attempt against Ukraine failed. Russia is going through a very difficult times due to the sanctions it is facing. Moscow has been surprised by the Ukrainian army's growing strength and effectiveness response to the Russian aggression. Ukraine's struggle has also become an example for the European countries' security concerns. European countries have taken important steps against Russia over the war in Ukraine. Russia, ostracized from international politics, continues its aggressive policy instead of adopting a conciliatory stance. As a result, it faces sanctions and is not taking part in negotiations. Kiev has tried diplomatic solutions in the past but failed to achieve positive results. Russia's aggressive and expansionist behavior is not acceptable for Kiev. That is why the Ukrainian army wants to continue the armed struggle until the occupation ends. At the recent summit in Davos, the focus was on peace in Ukraine. Now, if you are ready, let's analyze the latest developments together. As the Pioneer, we continue to report on Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. I also read all your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments with us. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start if you are ready. The Pioneer reports. Recently, important names of the world politics came together in Davos. Ukraine was on the agenda of the politicians who gathered in the day before the Economic Forum in Davos. The summit, organized under the same Ukrainian peace formula, touched upon important issues. The Ukraine Peace Formula, the fourth international summit on Ukraine, took place in Davos, Switzerland. The Swiss Foreign Ministry announced that Switzerland and Ukraine will hold the fourth meeting of the National Security Advisors in Davos within the framework of the Ukraine's peace formula. The aim of the conference, co-chaired by Swiss Foreign Ministry Ignacio Katsis, ahead of the Ukrainian presidential office Andriy Yermak, is to conclude negotiations at the level of National Security Advisors on the principles of the lasting and just peace in Ukraine. These principles will form the next stages of the peace processes, the statement said, adding to the summit of national security advisors with attended by more than 80 delegations. The summit discussed the peace formula presented by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the end of 2022. This formula consists of 10 principles aimed at achieving lasting peace in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky presented the 10th point Ukrainian peace formula at the G2 summit on November 15, 2022. In peace formula he proposed at the G2 summit, President Zelensky mentioned such topics as radiations and nuclear safety, food security, energy security, release of prisoners and exiles, implementation of the UN Charter's territorial integrity of Ukraine and the world order, withdrawal of Russian troops and cessation of hostilities, restoration of justice, prevention of ecological problems, prevention of tensions, and signing a document confirming the end of the war. Swiss Foreign Minister Katsis told a press conference that their aim was to prepare to be ready and mature to start a process with Russia when the time comes. He said that at point the talks should find a way to include Russia, but so far neither Kiev nor Moscow is ready to take such a step. It is noteworthy that Brazil, India, and South Africa, which are part of the BRICS grouping alongside Russia, also participated in the talks. The fact that the Ukrainian issue was discussed in the talks in Davos shows that Ukraine is also on Europe's agenda. European politicians are closely following the developments regarding the ongoing war in Ukraine. The French foreign minister, who took office recently, made important statements on Ukraine. In a press conference with the German foreign minister Annalena Baerbock, French minister Stéphane Séjourné said that we are in full agreement that we should support Ukraine as much as necessary. Baerbock said that they would stand by Ukraine until Russia withdraws from the Ukrainian territory. But he noted that the Russian President Vladimir Putin does not want to end and that has not stopped in the war. The meeting between the two foreign ministers took place at a time when allies are struggling to ensure funding for Russia. Andriy Yermak, the head of the Ukrainian presidential office, made a number of important points in his statements on the talks in Davos. He said that the peace Ukraine seeks guarantees territorial integrity, sovereignty, and lasting peace. He said that Ukraine has created a coherent framework to achieve such a peace. Yermak said that they need to decide on further actions, especially regarding the format of the peace summit in the implementation of Zelensky's peace proposal. He also said that the Ukrainian diplomats are ready to do their parts for the peace. Western countries will try to focus international power on Ukraine's defense by increasing support for Kiev and increasing distractions such as the conflict in the Middle East. At a time where there are fears that the recent escalations of the conflicts will reduce support for Ukraine, the European countries' announcement that they will continue to support Ukraine was very important. Kiev authorities want to leave the talks with the positive results. The support given to Ukraine in the ongoing war with Russia has important effects. Investment and the power of the Ukrainian army are increasing day by day. The war, which Russia characterized as a special military operation, is actually a real war. Russia's casualties shows that the war in Ukraine is not a simple conflict. Russia, on the other hand, has not made any statements on the peace. Moscow's position was clearly stated, demanding recognition of the territories occupied by Russia. European countries, which have declared that they will not recognize Russia's illegal occupations, are focusing on developing a more effective method of struggle. New moves against Russia are expected in the coming days. What do you think about the talks of Davos? Do you think the decisions taken in Davos will be enough to achieve a lasting peace? What do you think about the potential of the Ukrainian army? How do you assess Russia's aggressive policy? Do you think Russia's and Ukraine's demands are enough to end the war? We care about your opinion. Please share it with us.